Hey everyone, Noah here from American Trucks. So you're looking to tune your truck. There are tons of options, things can be confusing, and so many tuners do so many different things. And one thing that you probably realized is that most tuners only have one file. Now that means you can't adjust the tune for any new mods you install, and you're stuck with usually just one aggressive tune. So if you want to tune your 19 to 21 Ram, but you're looking to switch between different tune maps, then this iTune, i3 tuner, and PCM swap kit from Diablo Sport would be a great option for you to consider. This tuner comes with the option to switch between up to 5 different tunes at a time, and this is the Platinum version, so it supports custom tunes, and you can still use the preloaded tunes as well. So just to run through a quick list of things this tuner can adjust, we're looking at speedometer gear ratio, tire size correction, cooling fan control, disabling ESP, throttle signal boosting, fueling adjustments, timing adjustments, idle RPM, speed and rev limiters, and the ability to turn off active fuel management. So like I said before too, you can't keep changing the tune to correspond with other mods you do as you build your Ram. One more thing is that it can be used as a diagnostic tool as well for trouble codes, and also a data logger and monitor so you can see exactly what's going on with your truck. Now loading tunes is super easy as well, since you can do it over Wi-Fi, and then once you have the tunes loaded, you can just plug the tuner in and use the screen on it to switch between them. One last thing to note is that this does come with an unlocked PCM. So to use that, you have to exchange your factory locked PCM for this tuned one so you can run Diablo Sports software. We do have some pretty cool design features with this tuner itself as well. So like I said earlier, this guy is Wi-Fi enabled, which makes adding and deleting files really simple. Then we have this decent sized full colors touchscreen display here right up front, which really is a nice interface for you to sort through any data like AFR or EGT or anything else you would like to see. Coming in around 650 bucks, it is kind of astonishing how much you get for the price here with this Diablo Sport setup. This is about middle of the range in terms of tuners, and it is a basic tuner that doesn't have a digital dash or anything like that. So for the price, this is a great option for someone who's on a budget but wants to get some more power out of their truck with a higher end tune setup with some serious versatility. So installing this tune and PCM will really only take you about 45 minutes, which isn't too bad at all. If you take your time, you're really only looking at a difficulty level of 1 out of 3 wrenches without any major headaches. Now getting tuners set up can be kind of complicated, and it's important to take your time and read everything that it can do before just plugging it in. For some more in-depth installation instructions, check out this video from one of our AT customers who's going to walk you through the entire process step by step.
The tools that are needed will be a ratchet, an extension, and a 8mm socket.
Hey guys, so here's the box for the Diablo Sport i3. This is for the 2019 Ram Rebel 5th generation truck. So inside obviously is the control unit, but one important detail that they put inside the box is this link. In order to get your PCM swapped out, you must follow this link in order to do so. So once you go to that link, you will see that there is a list of vehicles that you get to choose from. Once you see the vehicle that is yours, go to the bottom and proceed. The next page will take you to a PCM cross ship. Here you'll see 4 boxes that you'll need to fill out information for. The first box is your VIN, so go to your vehicle and find your VIN number that is located where described within the boxes shown here in the photos. Calibration ID is similar to that. This would be on the PCM within the vehicle that you are swapping out. Okay, I made an account and I ordered the PCM swap, so the next step here is to go ahead and plug in the control module into the computer via the micro USB and the USBs. So there we go. So basically what I'm trying to do now is get an update on the firmware so when I go install it there are no issues. Okay, so right away it prompted me to this screen. I agree. Let's go to settings. Yeah, there we go. Check for updates. Okay, so we're pretty close to being done with the download of the updates, and let's see what happens next.
Okay, now it's time to install the bypass module. So as you can see, I already have lights placed underneath the seat. Okay, so once you're underneath the vehicle, what you're going to be looking for is this connector right here. You can see there's two connection points on it, and those will end up going into the module, the bypass module. So let's go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do here, as you can see, you want to gently unclip these two. Just give it a little wiggle. Get the first one out. That's one. Now let's get that second. That's two. Once both are unconnected, I will bring that bypass module in, seen right here, and I will go ahead and connect those in the right proper size. So there's one snapped in, and then the bigger one obviously go into the bigger port. There you go, just simple as that. Now they do recommend you to zip tie this in place. What I am going to do for right now is just go ahead and put it back on its mounting bracket and just leave it as is, just like that. So after installing the bypass module, the next step is to plug it into your vehicle, which I have done so. Now that it is booting up, let's see what the next process will be. Okay, so now once the bypass module is installed, I plugged it into the truck. And let's go ahead and start the tuning process before we install the new ECU unit. They want you to go into vehicle tuning. They want you to go ahead and turn the key on, but not into the full run position. Okay. Okay, so the next step here is to turn the ignition off. Okay, and once again turn the car back on, but not fully on. Okay, so it looks like the next step will be to install the ECU, so let's go ahead and do that after the tuner has been done uploading all the software. Okay, as you can see, it has been done rebooting. Now the screen has gone back to its startup mode. Once this is completed, you can go ahead and turn off the vehicle and install the new ECU unit. Okay, so now that I'm back in the main screen, I am going to go ahead and turn the vehicle off. And with that being done, I'll open the door and get out of the truck. And I am going to unplug the Diablo tuner for right now. Okay, with that aside, the next step here will be to go ahead and install the new ECU unit. Okay, so now the first step here will be to disconnect the battery. In order to do so, you'll need a number 10 socket to disconnect the main positive lead. Sometimes they're a pain in the butt to get off, so I'll use a screwdriver. Just pry it off.
Okay, there we go. Have the battery disconnected. I'll put that boot over just to make sure it doesn't go back on there. Okay, so once you have disconnected the battery, the next step would be to go ahead and disconnect the PCM from the PCM unit. So in order to do so, they want you to go ahead and lift up on these brackets to disengage it. Let's go ahead and do that. So with a firm grip, apply pressure and lift up. Same with the other one. Okay, those are in the unlocked position, which is great. So the next step is to take these off. Okay, so the next step here will be to disconnect the PCM connectors from the PCM itself. I already lifted the brackets up, so the next step here is to wiggle these off. That's one. That's two. Now the next step here will be to disconnect and unscrew the 3 bolts, which are 8mm sockets. Okay, so I now have my extension with the 8mm socket on, and I'll start with this outer one first, loosening that up. Before I take it all the way out, I will go ahead and apply that same to the next one. And then there's one more screw that is down here in the corner. Let me get in here and see if I can find it. Sorry if my head is in the way. It looks like I would need a little bit longer of an extension, but it looks like I'll be able to get the job done with no issues here. Alright, there we go. Finally. Giving me a little issue with that one. Did not want to come out. So that's one. We'll go ahead and get this one out completely next. Okay, so that's two. And then the third one, I guess I'll just unscrew it with my hand. And there you go. This is the stock PCM being removed from the truck. Okay, so now with the stock PCM removed, it's time to install the Diablo PCM unit. So in order to install the Diablo PCM unit, I'm going to follow the same procedure I did to remove the stock one. So what I'm going to start off first is by holding onto my 3 bolts in my hand, place the unit back into the position where it was located. The orientation of the screws will allow you to know which direction to place this in, and also you'll notice that there's different color on the connectors that match up to the connector itself. So we got gray and a cream beige to a cream. So once again, let me go ahead and I'll start with my 3 screws. I'll just insert it by hand at first. Move to that second one. Get it in there. And then the hardest one, once again, is the one down below, which unfortunately I might be getting in the view of the camera. Alright, so now that those 3 are hand tightened, I'm going to take my 8mm socket and go ahead and finish off tightening these down. Okay, that one's nice and snug. Let's go to the next one, the hardest one. Okay, that one's good. Now on to the final bolt. Okay, so now that is all done and complete. So the final step here is to go ahead and put the connectors back on. It is always best to wiggle it on, make sure it's all the way on, and then go ahead and push down on the latch to engage it. That one's good. Let's move to the next one. Make sure the latch is all the way up. Wiggle it on. Make sure it's firmly on there. With a firm grip,
Press down and engage. And there you go. That is the completed install of the PCM unit. So the final step here is to connect the battery back to the vehicle. Okay, so I noticed a little issue here. I'm troubleshooting as I go, and what happened was there's the tabs that when you disengage this or back engage it, it pushes two tabs, a blue and a green tab up. And I noticed on this right side, the beige cream side, the tabs did not come up all the way and the lever is all the way down. So unfortunately, the teeth on this red handle came disengaged on the inside. So now I have to somehow fully engage the blue and the green tab when this isn't going to work. So my workaround for that is to use a flathead screwdriver, and this will help engage those two tabs. Unfortunately for me, you'll have to reach down underneath, find that channel, and push that little bracket back up into place. So you're bypassing that red handle and you're basically doing this just like so. And there you go, back in place. Okay, so now that the PCM is in, the brackets are properly placed and anchored in, the last step here is to install the positive back to the battery. So in order to do this, I'll switch out from my number 8 head and go to a 10. There you go. Voila! That is the install of the Diablo PCM Unlock Tuner. Okay, so here's the tool I used to help engage the brackets here. So like I mentioned before, the blue and the green weren't fully up engaged when the handle was placed down, and in order to get those fully engaged, this wasn't working properly. So what I did with the flathead screwdriver is I took it underneath where that little channel is located and I pressed it up to get those back into place. Because I noticed when I first unlocked the PCM by pushing these up to unlock it, these brackets got pushed all the way down, exposing it down here. So I knew I could manually push on those brackets to bring them back up. So if you ever have an issue with these breaking and you don't want to replace them, just simply get a flathead. You could punch it down here that way to remove it, and then punch it back up to securely place it back in the correct position. So that's just a little tweak I learned, because this one was stuck when I went ahead and I locked it back up. It wasn't all the way at the top, it was about right there. So I went ahead and pushed it up on both sides, and now it's back to where it should be. Sorry about the focus. So yep, everything is installed. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Let's remove this light. Next step here is to go ahead into the truck and download the correct software and take it for a rip. See how she goes. Okay, so I just got done installing the PCM unit from Diablo, and the next step here is to go through and set up the tune I want. So once you're in this menu, go ahead and pick yes. And from here, what we're going to be doing next is tune our vehicle. So let's go into tune vehicle. Go ahead and put the car in run position. Let's go into advanced tune. So from here you'll be able to set up your car specifically to what your car needs are. So let's go to Tune Select. Install standard tune. Let's go with the 91 octane. Okay, so the next step here is it wants me to turn off the vehicle. So let me focus. Sorry about that. Okay, so turn off the vehicle. Vehicle is off. Turn vehicle back on, but not on running position. Alright, there we go. So now we have the new Diablo tuner installed. It's going through the booting up process of installing everything, and once this is completed, everything is good to go. Okay, so as you can see, we are about done with installing the tune for the 91 octane. Now it wants me to go ahead and turn off the vehicle, which I will go ahead and do. Once the vehicle is off, I push continue. Now it will want me to go ahead and do that again. Go back to on mode, don't turn it on. And there you go. Everything is tuned in. Okay, so now that I have picked all my parameters, I am in the final stages of tuning my vehicle. Okay, next up, turn vehicle back off. Go ahead and press continue. Go ahead, turn it on. Not fully on. Ignition off. Ignition on. Okay, tune is complete. Now it wants me to unplug the unit, and I am done. Once this is all done, I will unplug it and we will go for a test ride. Okay, time to unplug it, turn off the car, and go for a ride.
That was the Diablo Sport Intune i3 Platinum Tuner and PCM swap kit for the 19 to 21 5.7 liter Ram 1500 with the 8-speed transmission. For all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.